The driver of this SUV in Ontario, Canada, has been slow to move at the last few green lights. So a motorcyclist wearing a helmet cam investigates. Mystery apparently solved. The driver appears to be texting. And despite being obviously busted by the biker, she seems to go right back to it. Clearly too busy for any FaceTime with her fellow motorists. When the light changes, the biker pulls out ahead, hoping to put the driver and the whole incident behind him. Or so he thinks. The texting driver picks up the pace, and suddenly, she aggressively speeds by, within inches of the motorcycle. Then, the SUV appears to brake check. This interaction clearly isn't over. The drivers finally make eye contact, but to no avail. The SUV pulls out in front once again and continues to block the biker's way. The biker has had enough.
I got it all on camera. You on the phone, you cutting me off everything. It's all recording right now. I'm gone to the police. I'll follow you wherever you want to go. All right, go. No, that's dangerous to my life. That's dangerous to other people's lives. This is the best thing I can do right now. So let's get to the police right now. Still recording.
The SUV driver pulls away, and the motorcyclist, wisely, decides not to pursue. But the story doesn't end there. When the video goes viral, the driver turns herself in. She is charged with careless driving, as well as distracted driving, for a total of over $1,000 in fines. Message hopefully received.
220 Bravo, 230 Bravo for a hit and run just occurred.
A motorist in Sterling, Virginia is monitoring a police scanner app when a report of a hit and run comes in.
The striking vehicle was a blue Nissan Sentra, which should have significant front end damage.
And as the driver waits at a stoplight, lo and behold, a blue car that appears to fit the police description slowly rolls by. So the driver decides to follow it to a nearby apartment complex, where he motions for the driver to approach.
You all right, man? What happened, dude?
Hello. I got into an accident.
What'd you do? You just rear-end somebody?
I mean, it's a pretty bad day.
Yeah, man, that sucks. You know the cops are looking for you, right?
Yeah.
Are you high right now or something?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you better be careful.
Though it's not exactly clear what the would-be deputy's intent is,
They're gonna arrest you if they catch you, so.
I'm gonna stay here until they do.
Yeah.
I'm not running.
Yeah, I mean, you already ran, though, so that you're...
It was just around the corner. Regardless, I
Yeah.
ran. You're right.
it's certainly not to offer any comfort.
Did you call them?
Yeah.
Oh, you called the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're screwed.
When the police arrive, the driver is arrested and eventually found guilty of driving while intoxicated and failure to stop after an accident, proving once and for all that it's better to stay and face the consequences than subject yourself to this
Oh, you called the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're screwed.
and then face the consequences.
Yeah.
Not running.
Yeah, I mean, you already ran, though, so that you're...
Officers respond to reports of an allegedly intoxicated man outside a shopping center in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
How much have you had to drink?
Nothing. I ain't drank anything. You know what? I have drank something, but it's none of your business.
Since the suspect shows no interest in cooperating,
What's your last name, man?
police decide to take him down to the station.
Put your legs in the car for me. Or whatever.
But before the cruiser even begins its journey, the suspect uses some impressive flexibility to remove one hand from the cuffs. The officer drives off completely unaware.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
Watch.
But the badly behaving suspect doesn't hide his secret for long.
Look at this. Broke free. County that my subject is out. His cuffs in the back.
Concerned for the suspect's safety as well as his own, the officer turns on the siren and accelerates through traffic. The suspect appears to hold a lighter to the front seat, distracting the officer and causing disaster. The officer loses control and veers off the road, ejecting the suspect out the rear window as the car flips over. Amazingly, the suspect is able to get up and flee the scene, but is soon captured and charged with escape third degree, public intoxication, fleeing on foot, and being a minor in possession.
How you feel, buddy? How you feel?
The officer, however, has to be extracted from the vehicle
Stay in there.
and is airlifted to a nearby hospital, but thankfully is released a short time later. A close call for the officer and the suspect, both of whom are lucky to have escaped with their lives. In Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, rainy weather has slowed traffic to a crawl,
Traffic is like so.
which appears to be testing one driver's patience.
Who's beeping?
The car behind me, they want this car to pull out and they can't pull out.
The man with the dash cam is referring to the driver behind him, who is apparently not happy with this SUV and decides to cut in line,
You suck.
which turns out to be a bad decision.
Oh, and it was up! And it's on my dash cam! What, bitch? Oh, I love it! Oh, you stupid! Instant karma! Oh, yes!
Police officers attempt to get the attention of a driver who appears to be ignoring the sirens, and perhaps more importantly, the shower of sparks coming from the minivan's apparent flat tire. The driver finally turns off the road and comes to a stop in front of a church. And after moving a safe distance away, officers pull the driver to safety in the nick of time. According to news reports, the minivan's 84-year-old driver, who suffers minor burns, claims that after hearing his tire blow out, he hoped to make it home, which is only a short distance away. But clearly, not close enough. In Peculiar, Missouri, a cyclist's helmet cam records as he approaches an intersection on Highway J. Because the road he is turning onto has very little room on either side to accommodate a bicycle, he wisely waits till there is a lull in traffic. But unfortunately, his caution doesn't pay off.
You mother! What the are you looking at your phone, officer? I got a text from another officer. Give me a second.
He's just been struck by a police officer who was looking at his phone.
Damn it! Right. Why are you texting? I don't care if you're texting.
I wasn't texting. I was looking at my phone.
Either way.
Yeah, I know. That's my bad.
Why are you doing that in a turn?
I wasn't paying attention.
Officer, dude. I can walk. How's my arm look?
Your arm's fine.
How about this one?
You're fine. There's no abrasions. That's the only abrasion you got right there.
The officer calls in the Missouri State Police to file the report to avoid a conflict of interest. He is suspended with pay pending an investigation. The cyclist only has minor injuries.
Damn it!
The damage to his bike is considerably worse.
She's in Explorer. It's a Ford Explorer. It's a sport track. It's silver.
Vanessa Gladio is recording from the driver's seat as her friend Delaney speaks with 911.
She's saying that she's a cop. She's knocking on her window saying she's a cop.
The woman who was at their window had just forced them to pull over after an earlier altercation on the road, thus beginning an encounter that haunts Vanessa to this day.
Delaney and I were driving to Reno to go see a friend, and all of a sudden in my rearview mirror, I see a silver pickup truck coming up behind me pretty fast. She sped up around to the passenger side of me. I could tell she was screaming at us, and my passenger, Delaney, flipped her the bird. So the lady obviously didn't appreciate that and forced me to pull over into the shoulder of the fast lane, and she got out of her vehicle and started approaching ours.
She's saying that she's a cop. She's knocking on her window saying she's a cop.
She was pointing at the badge, but we couldn't really decipher what it said. It didn't look like anything that had to do with law enforcement or anything like that.
Go ahead and go. Go.
As the woman walks back to her car, Vanessa and Delaney take off while continuing to communicate with 911.
We're right now gonna pass a new exit and I'll tell you what it is. Delaney? Oh my God.
But moments later, the woman in the truck has caught up to them and pulled ahead, still trying to force them off the road.
She's telling you to pull over. You go.
I'm not pulling over for you.
Go past her.
I'm not pulling over.
Hey, God.
Dude! Do all these cars see this, I hope?
Suddenly, the woman makes a dangerous move.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, go, 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 go.
As I tried to go around her in that moment, she completely made a U-turn across all 3 lanes to loop back around and come after me again.
Dude, I don't know what to do! I'm not...
Just drive. Just keep driving.
Dude.
I know, just keep driving as well as you can. You're fine, I promise.
Delaney calls 911 again.
Hi, we have a really bad emergency on Highway 80, and we're right now passing Dutch Flat Road.
Unfortunately, in the area that we were driving, the cell phone reception wasn't that great. So we would kind of connect with them, tell them what was happening, and then the call would be dropped, which kind of scared us even more because we felt really helpless.
And the situation is getting more dire by the second.
We have a vehicle that has been following us, telling us that she's a cop and keeps trying to tell us to pull over. And it's
swerving in front of us?
Yes, we're in the white Mazda. Yes, ma'am. And she's swerving us off the road. She keeps trying to hit us off the road.
I'm freaking out. Dude, she's gonna hit me.
Yes. She just hit our car. She just hit our car.
This woman drives up now on my driver's side, actually, and slams into the back of my car with her vehicle.
She just hit our car. She's pushing us off of the road. Yeah, she's pushing us off the road. She's coming for us. Put it in reverse. Put it in reverse, Vanessa. Put it in reverse.
She started to put her arms up in front of our car, kind of like this, and we could tell she was mouthing, "You're under arrest." You're under arrest. That's when I completely lost it and, realized that this lady was gonna go to any length to get us out of the vehicle.
Oh no, what they're telling us to exit. They're telling us to exit.
She's standing in front of me, dude.
We don't know what to do. Go. The CHP office is off of Dutch Flat. She's saying go straight to the CHP office.
Dude, she's so confusing. She's just in my
She hit us.
The exit is close by.
Go to your right as soon as you exit. Please make sure somebody's right there. She's crazy.
right
please.
behind us. She's
Take her right.
definitely following me.
There's an officer parked right here in the vehicle. Can he help us, please? Can he help us? Please. Go to the officer. Go to the officer. Go to the officer.
A sheriff's deputy is waiting for them at the gas station.
Okay, there's an officer right now with us.
We saw those lights and immediately felt, just a huge sigh of relief in a way. It wasn't over yet.
Can we get away from her and talk to her?
Don't worry.
Sorry, I'm scared.
That's okay.
She was right on my tail the whole entire way off the off-ramp. She parked her truck right across the street from us and immediately got out of her vehicle and still tried to approach us.
But the officer intercepts her, and the woman is immediately taken into custody.
Turns out she had been released from jail that same morning for a previous hit and run a few days earlier.
The woman claims she felt Vanessa was driving erratically and was attempting to make a citizen's arrest. She pleads no contest to assault with a deadly weapon and making threats to commit a crime resulting in death. She is sentenced to 925 days in county jail and 5 years probation. There is minor damage to Vanessa's car, but nothing compared to the toll it takes on her emotionally.
She's coming for us. Put it in reverse. Put it in reverse.
It was definitely the scariest moment I've ever had, even to this day. And definitely have learned our lesson, not to engage with other drivers that may seem aggressive. But it's, I've never experienced anything like this, and I hope no one has to.
She just hit our car. She just hit our car. She's pushing us off of the road.